intimidatable Phil Hellmuth.
7-6 offsuit. And Phil calls. Men win looking at a pair of fives.
Men might put in a little raise here.
Instead, he just checks. Flop is 4-9-8, and Phil Hellmuth has an open-ended straight draw. Men checks.
Phil's thinking about making a little bet here. Wouldn't be a bad play.
Instead, he just checks. Turn comes out, a big turn card, 5 of clubs.
That's the card they were both rooting for. That makes men 3-5s, but it makes Phil the highest possible hand, a straight to the 9.
So men checked, Phil bet 800, and now back to men, who calls.
Surprisingly, men just calls. 3-5 is a mighty powerful hand here.
River's a 2 of spades.
That doesn't change anything. Phil still got the best hand, straight to the 9.
Men checks with his 3-5s, and Gabe, that's the kind of hand where you can lose a lot of money.
Well, he may be thinking about raising Phil. We know Phil's going to bet. Let's see if men raises.
Phil bets 2,500.
There are very few hands that can beat men's 3-5s. Men is thinking about whether or not to raise.
He chooses to call.
Men must have had some tell on Phil, some insight in that hand, because most players, I can tell you, Matt, most players would have gone broke with men's hand.
He's got the tiny resort open.
It works for him.
To pillaging.
He's been trying all night to get the players drunk, but really, he just wanted to get himself drunk because he knows how powerful he is.
And now, I don't even that you should never drink on the job. And where's your tie? Wear your tie and be presentable.
Okay, I can stay at
Listening to lecture Warren is priceless.
Yeah, but someone has to protect you. I gave you a room next to my room. Yeah, everyone's protecting you, Warren.
Yeah, he's like playing all the hands. No.
No, he just flops up full house against
No danger. Wow.
And I don't even have an ace. There you go. I don't have an ace.
Especially in the... And he's saying I don't have an ace?
I guarantee it.
But
I don't have an ace for him.
It's almost like he's telling him he's got sixes full when he
bet.
check raises, says he doesn't have an ace, and then gets it in. But it doesn't matter. I
call,
mean, you
I know
can't
he
get
has
away. I
to
mean, he's never getting away from ace 8 here, just dynamic-wise, too.
7.
Yeah, he's check raising, hoping he has an ace to get it
You want
in.
to do something crazy?
What's that?
I mean, I know you got an ace now, but is the kicker good?
Doesn't matter.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Now
It's one of
this
those
is so
spots where you're
sick.
going to chop.
Imagine they were deeper. Anchorage only has 10,000.
What do you do?
He's gonna play with him like
Chop,
just
chop,
Like, this is
they
the
say.
cat that's got the
Tony,
Tony,
you know what?
he knows.
He's
He
gonna
knows he has
call.
an ace.
He's gonna flat. Anchorage gonna flat, and then
Don't
Tony's
go
gonna go all in over bet the river. He's just gonna rip river.
I'm going to go all in on the river, no matter what happens. There you go. That way I'm
An ace
showing
on the river is
commitment.
sick.
Oh, so he's bet
bet
all in
blind
in the
to do it.
dark.
Oh, and that's you got to beat 4 6s. Yeah, you got to beat 4 6. Can you beat 4 6s?
Wow.
All right, fold your hand. Fold it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I'm not lying. Come on. Do you trust me? Fold it, please, for me.
He's getting a
Show me
semi-weird
some
look.
confidence.
He
You
just
can't do it. What do you think? I'm not bluffing. I'm not a player.
wow. What a magic card.
just the latest in a long line.
He's rebuying. He's reaching back in his pocket
sure.
there.
I told you you have an ace, right? I told you all the way where we were. We always knew where we were.
What do I have?
4 to call.
I'm going to raise it 1,000.
Okay, so.
So 14.
14, which is my lucky number.
You gotta
He has to make it 16.
You gotta double the big
Okay, don't get angry, man. We're all learning. If you're going to get angry,
Ace King for Garrett, raises to 1,600. Annie always the teacher with pocket trays.
Penny Tran, my name in high school.
Open-ended straight draw for Duke on the flop.
2,000.
Inside straight draw for Garrett.
Ace is no good for Brad. That would give Annie the wheel.
Duke calls Brad's bet of 2,000.
Brad wants to see a king or one of Annie's threes.
On the turn, Annie makes her set, but Brad makes a wheel.
Annie needs the board to pair to make the best hand. She can only check call with 4 to a straight out there.
You're 4-1 dog.
That's tough.
Spade.
River's no help to Annie. She checks.
3,000.
Quick bet of 3,000 by Garrett.
Over 14,000 in the pot after that bet. Annie's getting better than 4 to 1 on a call here.
Annie's going to call.
Super gnarly turn card for her.
calling?
She's not going to like what she sees.
Brad gives her the bad news and takes a huge chip lead.
In the big blind that aren't free at all. He needs to go now.
You never fold the ball as well. You ran so bad. You ran so bad because I literally with an anti.
Devilfish has lost about 5,000 pounds since he sat back down, but he's still ahead for the entire session.
He's a really big name.
And DeWolf now playing the 3-6 suited. This cannot go well.
Yeah, what to do with those 2 kids?
Something for everyone in a sense. Straight draws, and that's an action card. A set for the fish. Straights on either end from Roland and Toby. And Toby's done beautiful here. He's checked. The Devilfish can't throw away his hand here. Toby can stick the lot in. Well, that's bizarre. He has to be scared of the Jack-Queen, but he's cost himself value and very nearly the entire pot. In Toby's mind, he must be positive he's splitting this. He is going to be steaming when he finds out what he lost. Roland actually bet the river here for value, and this one's gone completely kablooey.
I 2-8 someone and good. And I should have bet the flop. I can't believe it. But what did he
He's looking at Toby like he's got
what
3
did he show,
heads.
Ron?
Roland never showed.
One of those players is right there, Jason Mercier. He's opening the pot for a raise. That's usually how he operates. Blinds remain at 5 and 10,000. Folded around to Seidel in the big blind. He'll slip an extra 10 in there with 3-4 offsuit.
Heads up to the flop, 8-7-6, 2 hearts. Mercier has an up and down straight draw while Seidel picks up gut shot.
Check.
Yeah, that's the dummy end of a straight draw for Seidel. He's obviously going to check. A little surprised to see Jason check behind him, though.
The turn's a 5. Both players with a straight. Mercier is his best.
That's a troublesome card. Eric probably doesn't expect Jason to check in position with a 9 in his hand that would have given him an open-end straight draw on the flop. So clearly he's going to be comfortable leading out with the 8 high straight. He's bet 25,000.
Jason calls. You see the stack sizes below their names. Both these guys have plenty to play with.
Mercier could have put in a raise there.
And the river, 2 of clubs. Mercier gets the check mark.
Jason wanted to make sure a flush didn't hit on the end. Now he's going to feel a lot more comfortable with that black river card. And there's no reason for Eric to stop betting. Jason hasn't given him any reason to think an 8 high straight isn't any good.
Call.
Seidel with the losing cards bets 80,000. Mercier calls.
Wait, how many do I have? 7 cards, right?